everybody. Another day in paradise in beautiful Las Vegas. We are so happy to be here. I love the weather. A little humid, but I like anything below 105 degrees, I think. So I'm all good. Anyway, well, the median price home went down again. We're going to talk about that in a second. But we have 8,979 available homes in our zip codes. Again, we don't do Boulder City. We don't do Pahrump. We don't do Mesquite. We kind of center in on where we do most of our sales. Yeah. And we listed 170 single family homes yesterday. 72 of them were 470 and under, which gives us 2,545 single homes active available. And that's 36% of our available homes. Now we have 75 days of inventory. Isn't that wonderful? And actually, if you go into, now what I'm doing is I'm using the average sales. Let me show you here. Year to date, where's my little pointer? There we go. It's 118 average sales a day, year to date. So I use that figure to figure out how many days of inventory we have. If I were to use what we did in July, it would be probably 102 or something, because we only did 86 homes in July, so per day. So anyway, I like to do the previous month. Anyway, so along we go. We're still doing $5 million homes a day, everybody. That hasn't changed. So those people are still coming in and buying those homes, or people are cashing out their equity and buying those homes. And good idea, huh? What else is going on? That's it. You're closing. You closed 140 yesterday. That's really good. And that'll help that number, because the sales daily now are 76. So if we keep getting up there in the 3 digits, we'll change that sales daily from 76 up to maybe in the 80s, 90s, or even hundreds. That would be great. July, there's lots of vacations. There's a holiday, and then so it plays with the numbers a little bit. So I'm glad July's over for many reasons. So let's see. I think that's it for the stats. Now let's look here at this. Yes. So I ran the sales price median so far this month. This is just, the sales we've done this month, but it's 468. In the first 3 days, it's gone down 2,000 from what July was 470. And that went down 15,000 from June. And if you look up here at January, people who bought a home in January for $435,000 median price, I don't think they're going to get hurt. I think we might get down to 450. We'll see. But I think that July is probably going to be like that pivotal month, if you will. But I truly believe that we have pent-up demand of buyers. That's just the way it is. And a lot of millennials are buying homes. We're going to look at some stats here in a minute, and people are moving here. So I really don't believe that we're going to go too low. I don't think we're going to go below 450. We shall see. If I'm wrong, hopefully we don't go below 435. That means everybody that bought a home this year is good, at least as far as we don't want to see short sales back again. I know I was talking to Aaron Taylor and his son, Jacob Taylor, now kind of taking over things a little bit. And I think they both think the short sales are coming back. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see. And so to that point, I brought up segueing here a little bit to some resource tools for you. If you look at this particular site has the notice of defaults per 1,000 housing units by zip code. And so I picked out a couple zip codes just to see. It looks like up here in the far northwest is where we're having, that's a pretty large area. And that's where most of the notices of default per 1,000 housing units are. And then over here at 89110, which surprises me a little bit. And 107 and 146. I don't maybe I don't understand. Hopefully they will sell their homes because they've got to have equity, right? Why do you want to, why, I mean, so you don't make your payments, so you go into default, but get that home sold, everybody. If you know people that are in these zip codes here, you might want to reach out and to some of those areas and see exactly why they're doing it. I would be interested. So let's see what else we have. We have the Rio chart. This is, let me get rid of the notice of defaults. And let's see, in order to see what this site shows us, I had to do a little video of it. So bear with me here. We'll do this little video. And you can see Clark County, we had 209 notices of default. Trustee sales, we had 88. And then the foreclosures, this is current month, but it's really last month, we had 36. So you can see that we're really not looking like we're in trouble. In August of last year, we had 25. October, we had 21. We had 14 in November. You can see these numbers are really low. And interesting in May, it was as high as it's up to almost 24, 20, yeah, I don't think it reached 25. And now in last month or June, it was down to 17. So we are not having a lot of foreclosures. And I know people think, oh my God, gloom and doom. Now let's look at the median price of the foreclosures. North Las Vegas, where we saw we had the most notices of default, that's a 396. So they bought toward the end of last year. Clark County overall, 325. So 396, yeah, they bought last year, and they might have gotten in over their heads, so to speak, right? So that's worth notating. You know, the people that bought last year, if you can use Remind and find out, maybe do a get your notices of default and reach out to those people to sell their homes, because they possibly aren't that much underwater, or they aren't underwater. They just haven't paid their mortgage. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're healthy. So to speak. The casinos continue to hit records of tourists coming and gaming revenues. And that's our biggest source of revenue. And when I was looking at this site, Applied Analysis, if you go to appliedanalysis.com, which is where I went to get these statistics, it's very interesting. I mean, you could spend an hour and writing down little notes and facts so that you understand what the demographics are. And I did some demographics, and one of them, let's look at this one. One of them I did like the educational attainment in Las Vegas, because we have look at those charts. We have a lot of associate degrees, we have a lot of college degrees, professional degrees. We don't have that many uneducated people in Clark County and Las Vegas. And so I think that's really good, right? We want to have educated people that can take the new jobs that are coming on board for new industries. One of the reasons years ago why we didn't grow in the industrial area was because we didn't have enough workers for those types of jobs. And this is, again, shows by zip code the number of residents, and very interesting information here. Appliedanalysis.com. And then you can go here and you can see, you know, how the age group is for people, where they live, all types of demographics, the employment. There's not that many unemployed people in those particular zip codes I picked. And then, you know, how many housing units are in those 3 zip codes. So you've got, you know, 25,821, and how many single families, how many condominiums, how many rentals, all types of information here. And especially if you're trying to formulate your business plan for 2023, this is a good place to get to do your research on our demographics. And what I love is that they're like only 30, 60 days behind. And that's really good. They're not last year's. So I like that a lot. Household income is very important in the zip codes where you want to farm, because you want to make sure that people are making enough money that they can sell their house and easily buy another house with the current interest rate. So this is very useful, because with like the median price home, what did we say is like 2,500, let's say. Well, they've got to make about 100 grand. Mm-hmm. What? Isn't it 4 times the income? And then there's the debt ratio. I need to have Sheila come back on and educate me. I should know that, but I'm not out there selling real estate like y'all are, so I forget some of this stuff. And then you can print the report and you can give it to people. Maybe you want to take it on your listing presentation. So a lot of helpful hints here for you. And I hope that you will go to that site, Applied Analysis, and they are the people that do our statistics, our PowerPoints, and they come to the board every so often, and they do the presentations of the economic perspective of Las Vegas, which I love. And I haven't been able to make it there the past 2 years, but I used to go every year, and hopefully next year I'll make it. John and I are kind of changing our business model a little bit this year, so that's exciting. And I think somebody left me a comment. Let's see. Where'd it go? I don't know. I see something. Okay, so anyway, moving on here. Today, I wanted to talk about TikTok. So let's hide all this stuff here. And we're going to talk about TikTok. I have to tell you, and I have to read my notes, because I do not use TikTok yet, but I'm going to. So, these social algorithms are changing all the time. And I will tell you right now, they're just going nuts. And if you want to know what to do with TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, let's review some things that you can do. So the state of social media is constantly evolving. And to that point, I reached out to Glennda Eden today, and I love Glennda, and she stays on top of social media and does all the right things, and her business has just flourished since I've known her, which congratulations, Glennda. I know she's farming and doing listings, because I watch her on Facebook. But anyway, we used to have a social media mastermind. And I asked Glennda, I said, do you think we should have another one? And the whole point of that is to get a group of people who are really interested in learning all the nuances of social media in order to grow their business. Now, I don't do that to grow John's business. I don't do social media to grow his business. But what I do is I do farming, right, for him. And that works for him. And he's not like flourishing and going to come up and want to be a superstar. He's been there, done that. But for those of you who want to use social media, I'm going to show you some things today, or talk about some things today. So one of the major things is that you have to stay current. You have to stay current with the latest features and updates. And that's a major factor for finding success on all the big platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of them. And from the metaverse, I love that, the metaverse. I really love the name. The metaverse for creator monetization of funds. There's just a lot of change happening in the social media space. And that's exactly why we're going to list out and explore some of those top changes today. Trends, features, updates, things that you need to know about on your TikTok, your YouTube, your Facebook, and of course, Instagram. So you can assure that you're doing the right strategy and you're completely dialed in. So let's see, latest features. So reality is that what changes and trends are on the platforms. So TikTok is one of the fastest growing, most popular social media platforms ever. And you all know that I love Boston Terriers. So I'm going to show you, this, and I think I have to turn my
Reasons why Boston Terriers are the best. We are so fetch. Our farts even surprise us. We are partial to pretty skies. We can sleep anywhere. We are the best but warmers. We are badass. We are big kids. We is always happy. Did I mention extra? And super handsome. Reason
You're not kidding me. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, what I was saying is that TikTok is not for kids. And what you'll see here is that she got 3.4 million views, 42,000 shares, 310,000 people that liked it. And so, sorry for the audio, everybody. I get into what I'm doing and forget what my logistics. But this has been the trendsetter. And it seems like every other day, Instagram is trying to keep up with TikTok. And YouTube is trying to do something even to be more like TikTok. So TikTok has really been the leader as far as a vertical video content is concerned. They're the absolute leader. And for the first feature update on TikTok that we're going to talk about is actually one where TikTok is emulating other platforms, like, for example, Instagram. And that is through TikTok stories. TikTok now has stories, if you didn't know that. It absolutely does. And now, what are stories? Well, let's go back in time and let's talk a moment about Snapchat. Remember, Snapchat was novel in the way they created full bleed vertical, meaning I held my phone vertical, and it took over the whole screen. So full bleed, vertical, disappearing content. It could be on videos or photos. And I could text and graphics and GIFs and do all that stuff. And now that was what Snapchat was known for, their secret sauce. And then Instagram rolls out Instagram stories in order to compete. And did they ever compete? And they became the rage. And then it rolled over onto Facebook with Facebook stories. Now, stories are ubiquitous. Like every major platform, even Twitter has their own version of it. They all like something along the lines of stories, which are vertical, disappearing pieces of content. So TikTok also has what they call stories, but they're slightly different. So think about on Instagram, stories are arrayed from left to right in the story feed, which is the circle icons of profiles at the top of the app. Well, on TikTok, that's not the way it works. Your stories will actually show in the same feed as your regular post on TikTok. And the difference being that they disappear within 24 hours and they don't have to be videos. So TikTok is actually ever been a video. It's always been a video platform, but now with stories, you can add content to your main profile grid on TikTok, and that disappears within 24 hours. It could be a photo, it could be a video, or it could be a combination. So one thing to be aware of is stories on TikTok. They're different than Instagram, only because they actually live on the main grid and then disappear. Whereas on Instagram, they're a whole separate section of the app, so to speak. So now the updated feature on TikTok to know about is their rollout of the Friends feed, which again is also an echo or a resemblance to Instagram and Facebook and other social sites. So let's go backstory for a second. TikTok really is more of an entertainment platform than a social media site. Social media sites are you connecting with your community. But most people, the way they use TikTok is they scroll through the feed, which is really predicated on their interests. They're seeing content from people who are total strangers for the most part. In Facebook, it's the people that you engage with that you see, but this is a little different. This is your interest, not necessarily the people you engage with. So it's a new twist. It's really based upon interest, and that's the strength of TikTok. But also a weakness because it's really difficult to form a community on TikTok compared to Facebook or Instagram. Now, recently, TikTok got rid of their Discovery tab, and they actually minimized it to a smaller portion of their platform, and they launched an entire new tab along the photo called the Friends feed. So now on TikTok, there's actually 3 different feeds. There's the long and steady main default feed called the For You feed. It's called the For You feed. The For You feed is really predicated on your interests. So TikTok is going to show me videos of things that might interest me, like Boston Terriers, like Glennda Baker, like real estate. And if I watch a video on puppy dogs like Boston Terriers, I'm going to keep seeing videos on Boston Terriers. And it's been said that TikTok can read your mood. That's the For You feed. Now, the next feed is called the Following feed. So I can choose to follow certain creators on TikTok, and then I have a feed dedicated to only seeing their latest content, like I might with Glennda. And that's the Following feed. Well, then there's this third section, and it's a feed of your friends. Sounds familiar, but unlike Facebook, where I elect to be somebody's friend, a friend is simply somebody whereby I follow them and they follow me, and thus we're friends. So you don't have to do the invitation thing. You just have to follow each other. Together forever. You can't unfriend them, I guess is what I'm reading here. And I think what's important about this is that it shows signs from TikTok that they're looking to still have their foot in the water of social media. So they want to be a social network, not just an entertainment platform like they started out to be. And so your relationships are actually becoming worth a lot more with the people you connect with on TikTok. Now, the third feature we're going to talk about on TikTok is actually the templates feature. When you go to make a post on TikTok, at the very, very bottom of the app, you're going to see 4 options. There's basically 4 types of posts you can create. The first option is camera. That's your regular everyday post. The second is story, which we just talked about that component. And then there's also one that says live, and that's a live stream, which is self-evident. It's a live stream. And then there's an option that says templates, and this is new. They're pre-created designs that you can basically drag and drop in your own videos into templates. I like that. And then you have some algorithmic edge. So if you use their suggested templates, what we're saying is you get an algorithmic edge, which means you're going to be seen more. Now, exactly where you're going to be seen more on which feed, we'll see. They're trending. They're trending in some nature. So I guess some people like more one template over another. So if you're the one who's making content on TikTok, and maybe it's really time consuming, you ought to look at the templates. And I want to leverage the templates because they themselves may be trending to some degree, and I can capitalize on that trendiness and get more views on my videos. So they're going to put it in front of more people because it's something they want other people to use, basically, is what's going on there. So the last feature to know about on TikTok is the rollout of what they've dubbed their library. It's a GIF library. A GIF, actually, it's pronounced a GIF. So some of you might call it a GIF, but it's a GIF. And they actually have a licensing deal with GIF.com, whereby you can actually tap the library button and you're making a post on TikTok. You can search through their entire library of all their animated GIFs and use that as your video. I can't wait to try that one. And that's your video content, and having to supply your own original video content, you don't have to. You can use their library. So that's another feature on TikTok that you should be aware of, and I'm going to try it out. So let's switch over, or let's watch this on Glennda, because I want you to, I'm going to turn myself off, and I'll remember to turn myself back on.
The safest, most conservative way to build wealth in real estate is for you to buy, fix up over time, 2 years. Okay, so you lived in it as your primary residence for 2 years. You improved it while you lived there, then it appreciated in value, hopefully. You did some improvements and you sold it and you cashed out the equity and you got maximum amount of profit that you didn't have to pay capital gains on. You can do that every 2 years. If you're single, you can have a gain of up to $250,000 without tax implications. And if you're married, you can have a gain up to $500,000. That is a nice non-taxable gain on a secured investment that you lived in. And if you repeat and rinse every 2 years, cha-ching. The safest, most conservative way to be.
So that was very informative. Now, the thing I like about what Glennda does, and Glennda Baker, if you go on TikTok, just Glennda Baker, is she can repurpose these. And I think I've said this several times. She takes a Sunday every month and she does hours of these 30-second, 45-second little tidbits. And she'll change she always wears stars. Her mother told her that she was born under the stars, so she always wears stars, her clothes. So she has, it's like my glasses, and you should have something too that draws people's attention to, oh, that's Glennda, because there's the stars. So anyway, so she can repurpose this on YouTube, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn, because they're all real estate tips. And she gets lots of comments. I mean, you've got people that say, I'm actually not arguing with you, but I don't sell my properties. I turn them into rentals. And so some people keep moving up. Maybe they refinance their equity out of it and keep it as a rental and then buy another home. That's a great pathway to wealth. And then there's one that you can't see, but one gal said, I have kids. If you think I'm moving every 2 years with my kids, you're crazy. So, again, this is not for everybody, but if you can move up the food chain and put money in your bank account without paying taxes on it because you're willing to move, and let's say you're in your 30s, and you keep moving up, and you're not being taxed on that money. That's a pretty great business plan, I think. So I really like TikTok because you can repurpose the things. And I like Glennda taking one day of the month and doing like several, she says she does 30 to 40. So she always has, something to post every day. So anyway, I think yesterday or Monday, the gal from Luz from Miami, that's what she does. She takes one day, one Sunday with her videographer, and they do videos that day. And the only thing that she does differently is occasionally, because she's a listing agent, she may go out on a particular day and do a video with her in her listing video, which is, we've showed you several people that do that and how effective that is. So I want to get into YouTube. I will not be here Friday. I have to go to a class. Jimmy Dag and I are going to a presenter's class, and it's going to be most of the day. I don't think that I'll get a chance to do anything over the weekend either, because I have to start my taxes. So anyway, I will see you next Monday, and I will continue to post some things on the group. Please join the group. And also tomorrow we are having a class. So let's see what Jimmy's up to tomorrow. It is agency, and it's a really great class because he talks about negotiating. And are your negotiating skills good enough to get the deal that you want? Now, things have changed. I mean, when you were writing your offer, I like to say that your negotiations start when you write the offer, because you need to be playing it forward. Maybe you offer in this market, you might offer a little less, and you can always go up. In the previous market, you had to start at the top and maybe still go up too. But anyway, your negotiating skills are so important. And again, as the market shifts, so do your skills. Your skill set needs to change. And hopefully you have the skill set, but Jimmy will go over many of the skill set that you need. And you'll be surprised if you take this class, at how many different skills there are in getting a deal closed, and how many different ones that you can use. So hopefully you will go to bee.vegas. It's tomorrow from 10 to 1. We have a free lunch. I'm not sure who our sponsor is, but we always have good food. They always bring good food. We tell them you have to do that. If you want to be on in our class and in front of our great people that always show up, you have to do that. So, and the only other thing I have to say is that we talked about Brian Buffini. I think we talked about Brian Buffini. When did we talk about him? Monday. Yeah, because we are doing Brian Buffini, and it's your 100 days to greatness. And if you're getting and planning your business plan for 2023, this is a great way to get started. You're going to get 14 weeks with me and Jimmy, 2 hours every Friday from 11 to 1. And we give you homework and we hold you accountable. And I think that's one of the most important things about what we do, is that we hold you accountable. So you have to do what we tell you to do. And if you don't, those people a lot of times, they say, oh gosh, this is too much work. Well, real estate is work, and sales is a contact sport. And you need to have a system. Like if you're going to go from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to 4 deals and increase your production, you better have a system. And one of the neatest things about a system is if you have a system, then when you hire an assistant, they can work the system. So think about all those things. It's $395, and that's like $28 a week, which is almost nothing, to get one of the best business plans in just 100 days and get your business on the road to greatness. So I love you all. I will not see you Friday, but I will see you next Monday, and I'll continue to post things on the group. And y'all have a blessed day, and I love you all.